Since everybody now has to take into account the newer decks and the newer cards from the newer set, people also have adapted their decks in consequence. We all know how powerful Perform Pal 5 Rainbow Magician can be against Super Heavy Samurai, because if they can't answer it, it's basically just another Mystic Mine. Fortunately for them, they actually came up with solutions to this problem. The first one gained a lot in popularity recently because it's a card that you can always access, and it's Golden Cloud Beast Malong. It's the new level 6 Synchro TCG exclusive that allows you to bounce back a card your opponent controls when it is sent to the graveyard. The one issue, unfortunately, is that you do have to dedicate one card in your extra deck to it, which can kind of be annoying. Otherwise, you can just play Archphoenix Centric and Mythical Beast Garuda because they do not clash with these Super Heavy Samurai cards at all. These cards obviously aren't the only monster cards that are really good for removal, because Sauge de Fleur is also a really good one. It triggers in the hand, so you can still use it under 5 Rainbow because it only affects monsters on the field, and also you can get rid of any Floodgate with this card. And finally, we got Magical Hound, which is a level 1 Earth Machine monster, so searchable by Gear Gigant X, and it has a really nice effect. It's kind of similar to Trap Eater in a way, but it bounces back a spell or trap card your opponent controls, and you can use it in the hand or in the graveyard, but once per duel. Now, Super Heavy Samurai is not the only deck that's spicing it up with some neat techs. The Labyrinth deck has actually changed completely so that most builds are actually playing the furniture version with Chandra and Stovey. Thanks to these cards, the Labyrinth deck can also play Danger Bigfoot, so that when you discard Chandra or Stovey, you're also discarding the Bigfoot, and you can also destroy a card your opponent controls, which is really cool in turn 0. And if you don't want the destruction from Bigfoot, you can actually discard an Ishizu monster and shuffle back cards from your opponent's graveyard. The one issue is that these cards are unfortunately a little neggy, so even if you can actually get a spell or trap card directly from your deck to the field, if you do not discard a card that has value with the Chandra or Stovey, you're kind of going neg 1 most of the time. But the recursion is really good, and again, the extra speed that you get in a trap deck really matters in a format like this one. Another pretty cool new Labyrinth card would be Wannabe. It is, yet again, just like the furniture monsters, a monster that can actually get you a trap card on turn 0, so basically when you're going second on turn 1, so that as soon as you start your very first turn on turn 2, you can actually use a trap card right away. The one issue is that it does rely a little bit on RNG, so that you can actually get unlucky, but usually that's not really the end of the world. Cyberstorm Access also happened to give pretty much everyone a really powerful Link monster in the extra deck. The card I'm talking about is Sky Striker Ace Azalea, which is kind of like a Nightmare Phoenix and Cerberus all in one. If your deck can play light or dark monsters, this card is an absolute must in your extra deck. Basically, this card can literally get rid of pretty much any card on the field, including your own cards, and you don't even have to discard any card for it. And also, if you have 4 or more spell cards in your graveyard at the activation of this card, you can actually keep it on the field, but that's usually not really a problem. Although I will say the self-destruction aspect of this card is really good if you're playing a deck like Kashtira, because you can get rid of Ibli and then summon a Kashtira monster right away after that. Anyway, speaking of cards that are really annoying to get rid of, Chaos Angel is definitely one of them. This card is seeing play against Super Heavy Samurai because they actually struggle a lot to get rid of a monster that is unaffected by monster effects and cannot be destroyed by battle. Their only out, honestly, would be to kaiju it, link it off with Underworld Goddess, or maybe to attack and deal piercing damage. Otherwise, you might actually deck out against this card. Good riddance for that deck, you will say, because it can do some really nasty things with one card anyways. And a new nasty combo that people have been utilizing not only in Despia but also in Super Heavy Samurai right now is the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare Turbo Lock. By giving this card to their opponent, they basically cannot special summon monsters at all for the turn except Gimmick Puppet monsters. But the way the Super Heavy Samurai deck actually accesses the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare Lock is different because they use the Link monster, which is Chimera Doll, and then they actually synchro summon into Muddy Mud Dragon, fuse into Albion, the Sanctifier Dragon, and then give the Nightmare to their opponent that way. It's extremely terrifying if it works out, but you do have to dedicate like 5 cards in your extra deck to it and a brick in the main deck. Anyways, that's all I had to say for this video. I really wanted to keep it short and sweet, so if you guys have any other, ideas of tech cards, let me know in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.